Good morning. Welcome to Exploring Economic Development with MEDC. I am Meredith Harris, and I am joined today with Jill Morin.
Meredith, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, April 5th.
The best day of the week.
The best day of the week, absolutely. Yeah. We're excited to have guests with us today. I'm excited to see you. It's Wednesday. That's when I get to see you. So it's going to be a good conversation this morning.
It is. Yeah. So Exploring Economic Development, this is episode 33. We've been live streaming for 2 years, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Maybe more than that?
Probably longer than 2 years. So right now we're streaming to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn.
We've started doing LinkedIn, which has been really kind of cool. Different audience.
Yep.
So we're going to keep doing that.
Yep.
And Spotify now.
Spotify, yep. So our episodes, and we're backlogging all of our older episodes, so all of those will be up there available soon.
You can re-listen to all your favorite episodes.
Why wouldn't you? It's
you can learn a thing or two, right?
Your favorite entertainment.
And understand all of our inside jokes.
All the inside jokes. Panthers eat hawk meat. That's a thing that we do here in Marlborough.
That's right.
So if you're joining us live, you can comment and we will be able to interact with you. We're also going to be streaming and sharing this at our local cable access channel, WMCT TV, who they've just been doing such a great job.
Absolutely. They
so
do a
much
lot for
content.
The school too.
Yep.
Which we're going to talk a lot about school today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the school is super important to me, communications coordinator for Marlborough Public Schools. So today's episode is really exciting because it's all about opportunities for our students, for community members, and for people that want to give back and get involved and see people succeed.
So before we get too much into that, we got to recap last month's episode.
Yes.
We had both Mark Capadona from Colonial Power and President Ossing on to talk about municipal aggregation, which sounds super boring, but it really was not. It was a really great episode.
I learned so much.
Yeah.
And I'm just moving back to Marlborough from Clinton, and just hearing about the opportunities here in Marlborough,
the amount of money that you can save.
Yeah.
So if you are a Marlborough resident or a Marlborough business owner and you did not watch that episode, you need to watch that episode because there is a huge amount of money that you either are already saving or you need to be saving. So make sure you go back and watch that episode if you missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very good.
It was.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we'll get on to today's episode, episode 33. We have two guests with us in the studio today, but we're going to be talking about the Mazie program through Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we also have Principal Riley here with us today from Marlborough High School. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I don't think I said your name. It's Connie Askin from Big Brothers Big Sisters with the Mazie program. So thank you both for being here. And we're going to talk a little bit about the program that you guys have going on since 2019. Phenomenal program called the Mazie program. But before we get to that, I did want to just kick it over to you, Dan, for a couple of minutes to talk about Marlborough High School, what's going on. The last time I think we talked about Marlborough High School or the schools in general, we had Superintendent Bergeron on at the time. We have a new superintendent now.
Yeah.
But I think it was the first day of school.
That was the best. Okay. I can't remember what number episode. It was 20 something. I'm not sure. But Superintendent Bergeron joined us and we scheduled everything, and it was actually the very first day of school.
And we didn't realize it. So he was really thrilled with us that morning.
He'd already been to like 3 of the elementary schools, welcoming everyone who came in. And we're like, how you doing? Nice and calm. And then we realized this is the first day of school.
So that was good.
Yeah.
But so with that being said, we'd love to hear kind of a quick update. What's going on over there? I mean, for anybody that's watching, I'm sure you know this, but we'll give another little plug. We do a lot of school to business with Marlborough High School, with Marlborough Public Schools, with all the schools in Marlborough, but mostly with you guys. What's going on? What can people look forward to?
Well, so if I can talk a little bit about where we've been and where we are now. So as most people in the community, I think, know, Marlborough High School spends a great deal of time working on how we can connect the student learning experience to where they're going after school, whether it's college or career or both.
Right.
And trying to build in opportunities at the school level that help students to explore different industry sectors. It started with a lot of our work with Patriot Ambulance, where we launched our EMT program.
It's a phenomenal program.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's built into the school day. It provides students with an opportunity to, during their senior year, they can become certified EMTs. And so we really jumped outside the box of this traditional schooling experience with that.
And hold on, so they leave school with a certification that they can go and apply in their real life once they've graduated, right?
Absolutely. And they're working under the umbrella of a very large and successful ambulance company already that is teaching them to get the certification.
Right.
And then is supporting them to do their internships in the spring, which is what our students just embarked on about a month ago. So the potential employer is already in the mix.
Well, and so what a great benefit also to the folks that we're partnering with, right? So Patriot Ambulance now has their own homegrown pipeline of students that want to come out of school and work for them. It's an incredible model. It's incredible. So kudos to you guys for being able to put that together.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember about 6 years ago, we had some advice from Mayor Vision, and Mayor Vision had said to us, listen to what the companies need. If you really want to help the community, the industry in the community, listen to what they need,
right,
and then try to help meet their needs,
right,
Yeah.
with the schooling experience, and that's really where it all began.
Pretty good advice.
Yeah.
We can't talk about him this week though,
Okay.
because I might cry.
The big announcement. Yeah.
I know, big announcement from the mayor this week, but we won't go there because I don't think I can go
Meredith?
there. Exactly, I know. So
Okay.
that's
So-
phenomenal. But so
So
last
that's
year,
where we started.
and then there was the one last year. So I don't want to take your thunder, but we were going to talk about Quest too. That was a huge announcement last year from Quest, the donation that they gave.
Yes.
And that was another great one.
Absolutely. So Quest offered to help support students to get AP Advanced Placement courses, AP Prep coursework, and also SAT Prep coursework for students in Marlborough High School for nothing. They donated almost $100,000 to the school district.
Wow.
And we have now put over 50 students through that program in order to provide them the last 2 years with free AP and SAT prep.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
It's incredible, yeah. And I don't think, and we like to toot our own horn here, right? But a lot of other communities are not doing this type of unique partnership, right? I mean, you see some of it in other communities, but we have a really great business community that comes together
Yeah.
and really tries to support in unique ways,
Yeah.
which is just phenomenal. And you guys always step up to
Absolutely.
the plate and make sure that whatever they're looking for, we're able to make it happen. So
Absolutely.
that's
and,
awesome.
And I think the support is growing in the region. I think we had a wonderful career expo opportunity for our students last week, and that was regional. The
was
Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce really spearheaded that in partnership with MEDC,
right.
and also several school districts.
Yeah.
That was
Marlborough
an
being one of
awesome
them.
event.
It was really great.
It really was a great
Yeah.
event. I mean, you had kids from 6 different school districts that came to Apex Entertainment. And I wasn't really sure what we were walking into. I mean, Rob and his team, Steve, they all did a great job. But all the students, it wasn't like your typical job fair where they came in and they were walking around from table to table. But this time they came in as a group and they sat in front of the industry partners, and the industry partners talked to the kids about what they do, how they got there. They were able to ask questions, and then they kind of traveled to the next room where they had the next industry. The really cool part about it was they had these QR codes. Each student had a QR code with their name, and if the company was interested in them or they were interested in the company, they could scan the QR code and all their information went directly to the hiring manager at the company.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Doesn't get it better.
No, it
Doesn't
was
get any
incredible.
better than
And the questions, so I stayed with the MHS students throughout that expo, and they were totally engaged. They were taking notes. They were asking very
Great question.
great questions. And everybody was so easy to work with. I was really impressed. And having it at the Apex Center was just perfect. Yeah. It was
Yeah, we
really
got to ride the
good.
go-kart. No, I'm just
That was just when the
little
kids
bit of
we're not
bowling
supposed to
and-
tell them.
Oh, right.
We definitely were always there doing what we were supposed to do.
We had over 20 students attend.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
One of the
And our
best.
translators came along with, so
Yep.
every student that was there was able to access everything, ask their questions, connect. It was really phenomenal. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say one of the best investments that we've been able to make as a school district along the way is to have a full-time career specialist.
Yeah.
And so
Amanda
Amanda Chenier,
Chenier.
who's our
Yeah,
current
she's
career,
great.
shout
Yeah.
out to Amanda, who's our current career specialist, is able to help prepare our students and link our students
Yeah.
to these what we call work-based learning experiences,
That's right.
whether it's the EMT program or the new program we presented to the school committee last week. In partnership again with the city and MEDC, with Technium, and to look at students that will have a similar sort of like mirror experience to the EMT program,
Right.
It's huge.
except in the area of information technology, or what we all
Awesome.
call IT.
IT.
Yeah.
Growing field,
Incredible.
great opportunities. So we're excited for that.
And there's one at the branches too, right? Wasn't there another program?
So we are still working with branches. We're going to try to relaunch that. They went through a leadership change
Okay.
midstream while we were putting that program together. But certainly another area of healthcare.
Well, it's
that
just
is
unique
growing.
to see all the different, there's so many different opportunities. And so I guess my plea to anybody who's watching, if you're a business owner in Marlborough or you want to get involved, let us know. Because, I mean, we just had a conversation. The mayor and I were at Mass Hire last week with Trish and talking to Greg Bunn and his team over there about how do we take some of these programs to the next level. And I think what we bump into sometimes, Dan, we're having these conversations and sometimes there's this idea of, okay, the kids either have to be 18 or older, which can sometimes be a barrier for some of the labs, things like that. But then there's also this idea of, okay, they get the certification as an EMT coming out of Patriot, but when you're coming out of a Cytiva or a Quest, what's the certification?
Yeah.
So there's kind of that like missing link, but I think that Mass Hire might be able to help us with some sort of apprenticeship program. And so that's all new early conversations, but to any companies out there, if you're interested in this conversation or you want to get involved or you're looking to hire, I think you're all looking to hire and you need some help with that, let us know because I think we can be really creative about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And shout out to Mass Hire as well, too.
Yeah, they're great.
Huge support for us.
It's awesome. All right, so that's awesome. Anything else going on in MHS we need to know about?
Well, from a work-based learning perspective, we've covered a lot. I could talk to you about a lot of other things, too. We've talked about early
There's
college,
a lot of things
advanced
going on,
placement,
right?
advanced coursework.
Sure.
We have a fantastic teaming model with project-based learning that just got brought back online.
That's awesome.
Dan, are you able to just quickly, do you have any stats in your brain about the number of AP courses and
No
students
pressure.
involved with that?
Yes.
Okay,
I do,
can
actually.
you? Because I mean
Get in here.
that astounds me. From I took one AP class as a senior, and I felt like at the time there was so I graduated from Marlborough High 2002. I'm not telling you how
Don't
old I
date
am. I'm
yourself.
just-
My
I know.
gosh,
I'm just saying.
wow.
I'm proud. Whatever. It's fine.
Are you going to
Proud
pull up your
Panther.
own high school graduation
No,
picture?
no,
you do that to
no,
everybody else?
Everyone else gets teased, not me. Actually, I don't have any high school pictures of anyone. Don't worry about it. I might have done that to President Askin. I don't know. Anyway, so when I was at Marlborough High, I mean, we had opportunities even then, over 20 years ago, but the opportunities that students have now are just unbelievable. So if you want to share any of that before we move on,
Sure,
that'd be
yeah.
awesome.
So the AP program has always been strong in Marlborough High.
Yeah.
Just leadership after leadership cycle of investing in that program. So we've been focused, especially after the pandemic, of growing the advanced coursework numbers and really helping students to reach that level of potential and make sure that they get the benefits of that.
Yeah.
So right now, I can tell you between early college and advanced placement, 49% of our juniors and seniors are involved in advanced coursework. 49%,
Yeah.
so half.
That's incredible.
I know 49% might not sound like a large percentage. It's a
Sounds
large
like a lot.
percentage
It's
for
huge.
students to be involved in advanced coursework.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is a large percentage. So we're really proud of that, and we're going to continue to grow those numbers and grow those opportunities.
It's awesome.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right, so that's a great segue because we've got another wonderful program that you guys are partnering with another local group here in Metro West. So Connie, I'm going to kick it over to you. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, the program, Big Brothers Big Sisters. You guys just had a big celebration this weekend, so the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit
Thanks
about what
so
you
much.
got going on.
So I'm Connie Askin. I'm the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Mass and Metro West. That's a mouthful. We serve 87 towns and cities in the center of Massachusetts, from Wayland to Sturbridge, Royalston, down to, and so most of our programming is in that corridor between Worcester and Framingham, Marlborough being a really important part of our service area. We've been in business for 60 years. That was the big celebration. It was
No
a
big
great
deal. 60
No big
years,
deal.
no
No
big
big deal. Our first in-person celebration in 3 years.
Congratulations.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
We had a band. We had an auction. We exceeded all of our financial goals, which was awesome. But it was just an opportunity for us to bring back kind of reunion style.
Yeah.
Former mentors, volunteers, board members, staff.
phenomenal.
It was a party.
Yeah.
And we can't
We
wait
like
to do
a
it
party.
again. Yeah. So it was our 60-year anniversary. We are part of a national organization that's over 100 years old.
Sure.
So we really benefit from that name recognition and the resources provided from that
Right.
network, but we do deliver at the local level.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, most people are probably familiar with the name Big Brothers Big Sisters, but might not exactly know what kind of programming there is available or how to get involved. And so it's really great that you're here today to talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. And what most people think about when they think about Big Brother, Big Sister is our community model, where a caring adult in the community wants to help a child.
Right.
And a child is recommended by a parent or guardian who just needs an extra hand to hold,
Sure.
ear to listen.
Sure.
It's a really simple one-to-one mentoring model supported by professional staff. We have high standards for the screening and application program that helps us match kids with adults who have similar interests. They're in the same geography.
Yeah.
We ask for, on average, 1 hour a week for a year. Often
that's
these
not
relationships, it's not, it's 1%
Yeah.
of an adult's waking hours.
And it makes such a difference.
Makes such a difference
Right.
to the adult as well.
I was just going to say, couldn't we all use a little bit of that interaction, right?
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's the simplest idea of simply having a meal with a kid. My favorite thing to do with my little is to drive, because then you're not looking at each other necessarily, and the conversation might
flows.
flow a little bit more easily.
That's smart.
But it's a really powerful program, because the impacts that you see are tremendous in terms of self-agency,
Sure.
self-confidence. They do better in school.
Right.
Students who are in the program skip classes less than their counterparts.
Sure.
They attain a higher level of education than they ever thought possible.
Sure.
So there's a lot of benefit that comes out of
Long
it,
term.
but it's a joyful experience.
Sure. Yeah. It's
It-
fun.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Not every interaction is easy, but
Sure.
it's a great experience for both parties.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So that's the program that most people probably know about.
Yes.
So how about, tell us a little bit why the two of you are here together and the program that you're working, with Marlborough High School on in
So
particular.
The Mazie program was originally a foundation that was founded in 1989
Okay.
in honor of a young man who died in a drunk driving accident. But his life was all about service. And so his parents established this foundation to do one-to-one mentoring. We merged with that agency in 2016.
Okay.
And at
So
that
not that
time,
long ago.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, okay.
At that time, the program was in Waltham and Framingham. We moved to the Marlborough program in 2019, which was an awesome timing.
Great timing, right?
So it's a high school program. It's goals-based. We're able to have about 30 students so far participate, and that's because during the pandemic, schools closed, companies
Sure.
closed. A lot of our volunteers were from companies.
And a lot of people weren't seeing other people during that time frame, right? So that must have been difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were able to sustain a handful of students through the 3 years of the program and award scholarships of $2,000 to each of those participants.
That's great.
Scholarships for whether you go to four-year college, community college, trade school, whatever it is, to help that young person grow their W-2 over time.
Wow. It's phenomenal. So how many students do we have currently in the program?
Currently, I believe we have 18 students in the program in Marlborough.
In Marlborough.
Yeah.
And where are you finding that most of the so it's similar to your traditional community program, right? There's a mentor, mentee, kind of
Right.
how does that work?
Right, and what we really want to do in Marlborough is pair companies with these programs, so that we can have that sort of team sport idea
Sure.
of having, particularly companies that might have a lot of virtual work and they're only in the office a couple of days a week. It's a great opportunity to build that team culture by doing something good for your community.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, what are your thoughts on the program itself? I mean, so you were around when they launched it back in 2019.
Absolutely.
I know Superintendent Bergeron was here as well. He was actually
He was a mentor,
right?
He was a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we talk about connecting students to the community and really helping to support their growth, and then helping them to go on to reach their full potential, and then hopefully come back to Marlborough, work in Marlborough, live in Marlborough.
Right.
This is all part of that plan.
Right.
So connecting young people with adults that can mentor them and help guide them, it's very important. And so we're thrilled that we've been involved in this partnership. We're happy that hopefully with the pandemic being behind us,
Sure.
we can start to identify more students that can benefit from this as well.
Well, and I think to your point, so you guys just had a reunion, so to speak. People came back out. I think folks are starting to be more comfortable with kind of pre-pandemic socialization, right? So it's probably a great time for folks to start looking at these types of programs again, get back out in the community, start talking to people, seeing people in person, going out to lunch, doing those things that we were talking about. And again, it's just another unique way for Marlborough to be able to present students and companies with a really great opportunity in a unique way. So that's great. So tell us a little bit about the mentor-mentee. So you said that Superintendent Bergeron was a mentor.
He was.
For
He
a
was.
mentee, right? So what does that look like? Is that how many hours a week? Is it a huge commitment? What if somebody wanted to be a mentor? What would that look like for them?
Again, on average, it's about an hour a week for
Okay.
the school year. During the summer, we will have some special programs.
What types of special programs?
We have a summer picnic.
Okay.
Fun activities.
Okay, so
mainly.
other mentees and mentors can all get together.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right. The program, the first 90 days, we really try to work on match cohesion. So just that relationship itself, and then it's goals based, and those
Okay.
goals are both for academics and for community involvement.
Okay.
And it has a tremendous impact on both the student and the mentor. And I will just share a few things about Superintendent Bergeron, Mike Bergeron's experience, because I do know the student that he was mentoring went through a very difficult experience. They lost a parent.
Yeah.
And so, here's this very influential mentor in this kid's life at the right time.
Yeah.
He was living on his own. He was trying to figure out, what do I do? How do I do it? So there are life-changing experiences that come out of this as well, too.
Absolutely.
And certainly Mike Bergeron's experience as a mentor, which obviously he could speak better to, but I do know the summary, so to speak, changed this kid's life.
Yeah.
Helped this kid find his way
Right.
to reaching his high school equivalency and
Sure.
and really moving on
Sure.
as a young adult.
And
The program changed his life.
I mean, how cool is that, right? You sign up for this program and the superintendent of your school is your mentor, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of neat, right?
Yep.
I can imagine that student was probably maybe intimidated a little bit by that, but Mike's such a cool guy that I'm sure that was a really great experience for both of them.
Yeah, he'd show up at the school. I wasn't sure if he was there to see me or
His
to
buddy.
see the student. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Connie, do you know of any other, so that I would assume is a success story, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Any other success stories that you can tell us about, or that kind of jump to the top of your mind would inspire someone to want to be part of this program?
So, my favorite right now is we have an intern working for us.
Okay.
Because she's waiting to go to graduate school to be a vet.
Sure.
And the opportunity to reach out to alumni, it's been really, really awesome to have this person be the point person.
That's awesome. And so, are there any industries in particular that you guys are looking to find people? So if I'm a company that's watching this today, anybody that you're looking for specifically, or is it kind of a broad brush of all types of different industry you're looking to get into the program?
We would do barbershops to back office.
Okay.
Really, the qualification is, are you a caring adult who wants to make a difference?
Perfect. And do companies have the opportunity, like if a big company came to you guys, I'm just using an example, if a Cytiva or a Quest came to you and they wanted to do a program within their company, is that something that you guys would be open to, or is there opportunity there?
Absolutely. And with the larger, kind of critical mass, we can also help them with their own mentoring programs. How many companies have you worked in where you start in a mentoring program, it starts off really strongly and then kind of fizzles? That's
out.
because there isn't a culture of mentoring in the company.
Right.
We can help create a culture of mentoring in that company.
That's really great. And Dan, you could probably answer this. How many, just average, right? How many students are looking for this type of interaction? Just to give the people watching, there's a handful, there's a lot. Who could benefit from this?
I personally feel that every student
Everybody
could benefit
could.
from this, and
Yeah.
that will be part of what we're also going to share today, which is another part of this program that we're working on. We try as the school to help facilitate the connection with a student that we feel would really benefit from this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns.
Right.
So we try to work with our partners at Mazie to make sure that the student gets the student and the family get as much information as they can about the program, the opportunity. When it comes to working with a mentor, learning about a mentor's life, learning about what they do, learning about how that's inspired them to get to where they're at.
Sure.
That's all unknown to the student until they're able to access that information.
Right.
So making the connection is the first part, but then you're going to be sharing a wealth of information and knowledge and experiences with a young person
Right.
who is very much still trying to find their way.
Right. Right. And so there's something you guys are going to you have another program you said you're going to share more on?
We're working
We
on another
do.
program too.
We do.
so-
We're piloting something that's part of a national pilot.
Okay. All right.
This
Let's
is
hear
called
it.
the High School Leadership Program.
Okay.
It pairs, in this case, students who are interested in teaching, high school students who are interested in teaching, will go as a group to the junior high and mentor near peer model younger students.
I love it.
So they'll be able to process that experience. What's it like to do classroom management? What's
That's
it
great.
like to do, worksheets with a student?
With a student.
And so it's kind of a laddered mentoring program where they are
is
mentors
phenomenal.
themselves, and then they come back and work through in a group setting what that experience was like. We're
That-
really excited about
That's
it.
great. So when is that? Well, I mean, you guys are still working out the details?
We're kicking it off in the fall. We've
Okay, so we don't
already
wanna get ahead of
started.
ourselves.
We have the curriculum set to go. We're working with the school. We're so happy to be in partnership. This is truly a partnership.
That's great.
And so we're excited about launching this very soon.
So
in the fall.
you're looking for students to get involved in that program in particular? You guys are going to be working on that, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
absolutely.
Yeah.
We actually so we're building off of and Connie and I, when we first discussed this, we have sort of the foundation of a teacher preparation pathway
Okay.
that we've been working on for the last few years. So we have several dozen students that go to the elementary schools, the middle school, and the early childhood center
Sure. Yeah.
to learn about the profession of teaching.
Yeah.
It's a great pathway.
Right.
And so what we don't have yet is coupling that with the leadership training experience.
Right.
Right. Being a mentor, it requires some training, and you benefit so much personally from that training, just like you benefit from understanding the art of teaching.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You couple the two together,
Yeah.
and we feel it's going to be a great partnership.
Well, I mean, it's interesting too to think. I mean, we're just talking about the career fair, and even there was a municipal table there, right? Like everybody is hiring, and teachers are needed. I mean, literally, that is it. You can think about any profession, and there is a need to start building those pipelines.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting because I mean, I remember being in high school and. You don't know what you don't know, right? So sitting down with some of these mentors and understanding, if you say to somebody, you could, and I keep saying Quest and Cytiva, they must be on the top of my brain today, but you look at those two companies, you drive by them every day, you live here in Marlborough, you have no idea what's going on behind those walls, right? Like, they're doing something important, something to do with testing, something to do, it's really kind of cool, it's life sciences, it's pharma, but you don't understand the plethora of jobs that are available there. I mean, they have in-house counsel, they've got HR professionals, administrative finance. There's so many
And all the
different,
different
avenues.
pathways, yeah.
And I think that that's important for students in particular. I mean, I'm still learning about some of the jobs that are available at the companies that are right here in our backyard.
Yeah.
But it would be a great way for a student to learn about a different pathway in one of those companies right here in their community. And to your point, Dan, we want to build them, and we want them to not fly away too far. We want them to stay here and support the companies, at least from our perspective at MEDC, to support the companies that we're bringing in, because one of our biggest selling points is you can find the talent here.
Yep.
And that's a lot of the reason why we're doing a lot of the things that we're doing together. And this is just another way to completely bolster that and make sure people are aware.
Absolutely. It demystifies
Yes.
what those companies do, and it also provides access to the networks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Because now you know somebody that can kind of show you the way, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Builds
That's
community.
awesome. Yeah.
Builds community too. That's the most important thing in any organization, whether it's our schools or it's a community or it's an industry, like the culture or climate. All this is heavily dependent on how we interact with one another.
Right.
And so
Relationships.
if we could take some of our younger community members and teach them how to have a positive impact on even younger community members,
kids. Yeah.
this all benefits the community as a whole.
That's phenomenal. And I didn't know you guys kept that under your belt. I love that. We have a question?
Well, I did want to make sure that we said hi to some of our viewers. Greg Matrakis, thank you for
Hey,
joining
Greg.
us. We're happy to have you here. And of course, we had a comment from our favorite guest. President Austin says, best podcast crew ever. Spelled appropriately,
Spelled appropriately.
EVAH.
Yes. Last time he was in the hot seat, so he must be enjoying
Yeah.
watching
Oh,
from
yeah.
home today.
on one of his many monitors. Doesn't he have like monitors everywhere?
Sure does. Yes.
He's got to
yes.
watch all the games.
Hey, I get it.
And stay up to date on his favorite
I get it.
podcasts. So we've got a question here. Do you have any common reasons why mentors or mentees hesitate to get involved in a program like this? And what can you tell them to change their mind, or how can they get involved?
And that's a question from us. So one of our phenomenal
Yes.
team members. I love the question.
Thanks, Linda and Lindsay.
All right, so let's read it again.
Do you hear any common reasons why mentors or mentees hesitate to get involved?
Sure. What does mentoring even mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Am I ready to do this? I don't feel like a role model.
Oh.
Maybe when I'm further in my career. That's just common misconceptions that prevent you from developing a relationship with a young person that can change your life too.
So you provide value even if you think you might not, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great advice. So if you even have an inkling that you want to get involved, right? Make the call. And so I have a question that's kind of burning in the back of my mind, which I might actually ask for your help on this. But ESL, right? So is there any thought? I'm sure there is. We have a huge English
language learners.
Yes, in Marlborough. So is that something that? How do you guys handle that? Is there mentors, mentees that kind of are able to speak multiple languages, or how does that work out?
Yes, we recruit for people who look like the children that we want to serve, who speak the languages, so Portuguese, Spanish. We have a wide variety, and we also have some people who have hearing disabilities.
Oh, wow.
Who
okay.
we're able to support.
That's great. That's great. Did we have another question? Did I jump ahead too quickly?
Well, I was gonna ask Dr. Riley what might hold a student back, or what questions do you hear from students that are like, okay, well, what is this? And what, or either one of you could answer that. How do the students feel about the opportunity, and what might make them hesitant, and then what do they overcome to then realize the value in it?
Sure. Yeah, no, it's a great question. So I think what we're trying to do is have students hear from students on what the experience has now been for them, because we've had students have now gone through the experience, and the students tend to believe the students more than they believe us sometimes.
Sure. I wonder why.
A lot of students haven't experienced mentoring, so they don't know what it is that we're trying to encourage them to participate in.
Yeah.
Right.
We're talking about linking them up with someone that they don't know.
Yeah, might be a little intimidating.
It is. It is. There's some unknowns. So we're trying to help be as informative as we can be, so that we can dispel any misconceptions about the program.
Yeah.
And before, when you asked the question too, like what might hesitate from a mentor side of it or a student side of it, it's an opportunity like this, where we sit down and we talk about it, and folks can access that, and we can kind of tell the narrative of what this is really all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even as an adult that I'm in my career, kind of mid-career, I mean, I even get worried about the unknown, right? I mean, as a young student, I'm sure that's even more so, but any type of change is difficult. And so that's a great point. I mean,
Yeah, I imagine hearing testimonials will be huge. And if we need to support that anymore as a school district, I mean, it'd be great to facilitate some of those.
Absolutely.
In terms of
Yeah,
marketing.
we'll take you up on that.
We do have a comment from Elaine McDonald. Thank you. Joining us from LinkedIn, saying
Hi, Elaine.
she loves mentoring type programs. Thank you for supporting this.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you.
All right, so believe it or not, bumping up against time.
Yep.
This happens every month. But before we go, how do people get involved? So if somebody's watching this and they're thinking, hey, this is perfect for me, or even I just want to learn more information, Connie, what do they need to do?
The easiest thing to do is go to our website. It's BBBSCM, so that's Big Brothers Big Sisters Central Mass .org. There you can find information about the programs.
Okay.
You can start your application process and find contact information.
And just reach out, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
And we have support on site too at Marlborough High School.
We do.
So we have an office there in order to help support all this work and these connections.
And so if there's a student or a parent that's watching, is there someone specifically at the school? Or?
Contact the school, and actually mainly through the assistant principal's office.
Yep.
My assistant principals have done a fantastic job of helping to create these relationships.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, and you're just on this podcast, let us know. We'll make sure that you get in touch with the right people.
Absolutely.
Because this is a phenomenal program, and hopefully we can get some more support from the community and just grow the program. So, is there anything I missed? Any last final words?
You got it.
We
But
got
we
it.
are
All right.
we are back. We are really
back.
excited.
And we're
That's
excited
awesome.
as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
We really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
we're just closing out episode 33. So we're
Wow.
excited. We'll see everybody back for episode 34. It's the first Wednesday of every month at 10 a.m. And we will see you then. Have a great Wednesday.